everybody, welcome to A Culinary Journey, Season 5. We have some great shows ahead of you this season. Hey, we're going to be here at Monadnock Flooring in their design center with some great Vermont custom cabinetry behind us, amazing appliances. We have a great season ahead of us. And today, we're going to be making sandwiches. You know, it's in the middle of spring and summer, and you want to make something fun, but you don't want to make that traditional just turkey mayo sandwich. But you want to do something that makes you feel like you put a lot of work into it, but you really didn't, and you're really going to impress your guests. Well, we have some great sandwiches today, actually 4 of them. One's with chicken and caramelized onions and sun-dried tomatoes. Another one's a roast beef sandwich with capers and Munster cheese and mushrooms. Wow, you're going to love this one. Mozzarella and tomato sandwich. And then finally, a ham and arugula sandwich that we're going to grill a little bit. You're going to absolutely love this. Hey, you know, just like all the other seasons, we have great food, we have great friends, and guess what? Your culinary journey starts now. Hey, we're driving it home. No, okay, that's a little silly. Well, I'm going to be making insalata caprese. Remember, today's culinary journey is all about sandwiches. That's right. But we're going to do them to the next level, something that you might find in a fancy place, or if you want to really impress your family and friends, we're going to do some fun sandwiches. So we're going to start with our insalata caprese sandwich, or a mozzarella sandwich. Now, if you had a grill outside, you'd probably have your own. You could do this outside on the grill. What's great about this is really simple and an easy sandwich to get started. So first thing I want to do is get our bread. And our bread for this are basically like little, oh, they're like pitas. You could actually use a pita for this. Or if you find these individual pizzas like this, you know, you have some name brands of pizza that make pizzas that look just like this, and you can fold them over. They have mini, or you can get the big ones and fold that over and then cut those into sandwiches. It almost looks like a quesadilla. So the only thing I need to make this sandwich are my ingredients and a little bit of love. There we go. We have some basil pesto. You can make your own, or you can buy it in the store, right? There you go, a little basil pesto. I'm going to put some tomatoes on there. Just cut the end of the tomato off. Now remember, you know, one of the hints I always give you is don't throw all these little pieces away. You can keep them to make your vegetable stock, or even if you make your marinara sauce, if you make your own sauce, keep the both sides of the tomatoes that you're not using, because with that, you could just throw that right into with your other tomatoes and it'll melt down beautifully. Some fresh homemade mozzarella, the tomatoes, the basil. Ta-da! Does it get easier than this? It's like the greatest grilled cheese on the planet. Oh, we've made one of those before. A little bit of salt and pepper. All right? And then some greens. Voila. Now the only thing we want to do is to get this to warm itself up, to kind of get a grill on. So now what I do for that, I want to keep that weighted down just a little bit, so I'll just put the other pan right on there. It's easy for you to do. There you go, it's there. All right, that's our first sandwich. Doesn't get much easier than that. However, our next sandwich might actually top that. So what we're going to do is get that started too while we're doing that. Roast beef, mushrooms, capers, onions, some great flavors. I like to use portobello mushrooms. Those are great. Once again, something I can use in the future is that mushroom, the top of the mushroom. And then we're just going to cut these up to put in there. Now with sandwiches, what people like to do, forget to do is they say, oh, you know, the only thing I could do is put ham and cheese on the thing, maybe warm up the bread, maybe do a little bit of this and that. But you could do so much more, especially if you heat up your ingredients and put them into the bread. It comes out absolutely wonderful. Let's get a little oil in the pan. And let's get our mushrooms cooking. Now remember, with mushrooms, they soak up a lot of oil. So we're going to add some salt and pepper right to it. Hopefully it'll draw out some moisture. So mushrooms act like a sponge, right? So what they're going to do is soak up all the oil behind it. What we're going to do is add salt to it, and hopefully not soak up too much, because the salt acts the other way. draws moisture out of a product. If you followed that, then we have a physics class that we're going to teach in the next show. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to do some capers. I love capers. Briny, salty, all at the same time, some great flavors. And if I got my good friend over there gets me some shallots, that'd be awesome, or some type of onion, that would be great. If not, we're going to put some roasted garlic in there. That'll be yummy. So let's take a look at this, see how this is going. Get our tongs right here. Let's see how well we do. Ready? Shoot. Boom. Shallots. If you have one of these at your own house, you mean the automatic dispensers that come right out of the side, you got it made. If you don't, you're out of luck. I want to see if that would work with just about anything else. What do you think? See if we can get them to throw something else this way. Let's throw our shallots in there. Let's get all. He's about to throw a chair. All right, we'll saute those mushrooms, capers, and shallots up. When I tell you the great flavors about this, going back to when we always talk about the differences in how we cook, and using a little bit of acidity and using a little bit of sweetness to heat, what you're going to find is you'll get that when you do this exact dish. The capers themselves, phenomenal what they add to the flavors. So you see we got our mozzarella cooking. We're crisping up our pizza bread or our panino bread. And it's almost like making a traditional panino. And then we're going to get our sliced roast beef. You could use any type of roast beef in here. You could go to the store and get it. I just basically take ribeye and I roast it off. I just happen to have that lying around. It's a cool thing to have. And any type of meat works well with this. But meat and mushrooms, it's one of Lee's favorite things. And then we're not going to let the meat cook too much. We just want to, it's already been roasted, so we're right there around medium rare. What I'm going to do is now just shut it off and put on my Munster cheese and let it melt on there. All right? Let's get our caprese sandwich off. Turn that down. Oh, we'll turn this off, and that's just going to melt. So that's all we had to do for that. So we got 2 sandwiches out of the way, pretty darn quick. What I'm going to do before we put the roast beef on is I'm going to cut a piece of focaccia bread. And bread is a very, very important part of the sandwich. Don't skimp on that. How you prepare your bread, what kind of bread you get, spend a little bit extra, because that makes the sandwich. We've done our burger show not too long ago, and we talked about how bread is an important part of the burger. It should be about the sandwich too. So make sure you do that, whether you get a French baguette, whether you get a sourdough batard, whether you get a focaccia bread or a ciabatta bread. It's find the bread you like the best, whether you get an Asiago flavored bread. You know, you can get these breads now with some extra flavor on. All of those will make the sandwich even better. So don't let that be a misunderstood or a forgotten part of what we're doing. So what I'm doing is just warming up the bread just a little bit so we get our roast beef on. Let's check this out while I'm here. Mozzarella and tomato. Nice. Mixed greens, melted mozzarella, basil, tomato. Absolutely easy. How nice would that look as a brunch or a luncheon when you had some people over? Super easy to do, and it's different, all right? And it's not one of the finger sandwiches either. On this one, this is definitely one of my favorites. We're going to take some of this garlic mayo right here. There's a little bit of basil pesto on it. Take a little garlic mayo, really easy to do. That's really just regular mayonnaise. And I take my smashed garlic, right? My roasted garlic here. And let me get this out of the way so you can see better on that side. Well, let's get this all cleaned up and organized. Ta-da-da-da. Organizing your kitchen, very important. All right, so we get our garlic mayo on there. And then we get our roast beef with all these great flavors. I will tell you that once you bite into this, you will never have just a plain roast beef sandwich again. Now, if you don't like Munster cheese, I don't have to go over that. You can put whatever cheese you like on it. The capers, the shallots, and the mushrooms, though, add an amazing flavor. If you like tomato, too, if you want to add some tomato, you could always dice some tomato into the saute, and that's incredible also. This might even be better than the burger show. And we'll cut that up. Again, super simple, took me no time to make. If we were coming over for lunch at my house, you couldn't go wrong, you'd absolutely love it. And there's our roast beef sandwich. So our 2 first sandwiches are done. We have roast beef, we have mozzarella, we're going to do ham and cheese, totally to the next level, and a chicken sandwich, which will knock your socks off. But in the meantime, I will do a lot of eating. See you in a culinary minute.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh, hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
Where have you been?
I lost my cat.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, so I made this cat magnet to try and get him back.
Cool. Does it work?
Kinda.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's not my cat. Gotta keep working on it. See ya.
See ya.
Anything's possible. Keep thinking. Get started on your own inventions or just play some games at inventnow.org.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Hey everybody, welcome back to A Culinary Journey. Hey, I want to tell you about what we just made because it feels like so long ago when you left me, and I want you back and to tell you about the food. Insalata caprese, or mozzarella and tomato sandwich. A beef with, a sliced beef with capers, Munster cheese, mushrooms, and shallots. Absolutely incredible. And now what we're going to do is a ham and brie sandwich. This bread here is called sourdough batard, right? Let's show you how easy this one is. What I'm going to do for my ham and brie is I want a couple of things. We need some arugula. So arugula is a nice, spicy, peppery green, right? We're going to put that on. And then we're going to need something to soften the bread a little bit or do a barrier. And also balance against the arugula. And guess what that is? Honey. Absolutely incredible. A little honey on the bottom. And then on the top of the arugula, this little natural sweetness is amazing for it. Then we're going to put some brie. Now you can buy any type of brie. You can buy imported, domestic, or whatever. I like to leave the rind on. I love the rind on the brie. It just, again, a little bit more bitter, kind of acidic, the rind. But don't skimp on it because it's going to melt and be absolutely incredible. Let's turn on our grill pan in the back. We'll show you how that works. This is just some sliced ham. Again, you can put on whatever ham. I like buying hams that are usually called roasted. This is a fleur-de-lis ham. That's the name of it. And it's just a roasted ham on the outside. Looks like it has a little bit more color. And we have our outside. How easy was that? What we're going to do is on this, we're just going to sprinkle a little extra virgin olive oil. We're going to season our bread. Most of the bread doesn't come super seasoned, so we're going to season it a little bit. We're going to get that on our grill pan. All right. Easy enough, everyone? All right, so that's what we got so far. We have arugula, honey, ham, and all those great flavors. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start our next sandwich, but it's going to take us a little bit longer to do the next one. But once I start the next sandwich, it's going to be a little bit of cooking involved. We're actually going to caramelize some of the red onions. We're going to caramelize some red onions. So I'm going to turn my pan on. Now, there's an important part about this ham sandwich you can't go away with. So you got to stick around. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. We're going to wait till this pan just heats up. There we go. Hello? Okay, we're getting there. We're going to move you over to here because sometimes when things don't work, you just move it over. And that one lit right away. So we're going to saute or caramelize the onions in that pan. Again, you've seen me cut onions. Again, you don't lose any of the outsides. The only thing I wouldn't keep for a stock is the outside skins of the onions. They do have a real bitter flavor that they would add to the stock. And the same thing when I have asparagus. I actually don't put asparagus in my stock all that often. I actually keep it together to make its own stock, and we make a soup out of it. And this season, we're going to be a whole show on soups using the stocks we talk about. So we're going to bring it all together. It's almost like watching a full season of Lost. Eventually, all these things I talk about will come back, and you'll be like, hey, he talked about that before. That was a good one. All right. If you watch Lost, you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, You have no clue what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do is we're going to just cut these down. And we're going to let these caramelize in the pan for us. We're just rough chop them because we don't want these big strands of onions on our sandwich, right? And it's going to also cook faster this way. A little bit of oil. I'm going to let that caramelize. Let's check out our ham sandwich. Make sure that we're getting nice grill marks on it. Oh, look at that, right? Let's see how that's coming out. Got the oil. It just gave it some nice coloring too. So we're going to do that on the other side. Put some oil, salt and pepper. Now we want that brie to melt, but we have to be careful. We're not melting the brie and at the same time burning the bread. So we'll take a heavy saucepan, put it on top, or even just a random pan, and we're just going to press that into it. I'm actually going to shut this off at this point. If I want it to cook a little bit more, we're going to finish it off in the oven. So let's get over here to our onions. They don't need to be heavily caramelized. Now the reason why I cook the onions, one, it's a texture thing. The other thing too is red onions by themselves sometimes are really pungent, right? You don't want them super pungent. So what you want to do is sweeten them up and bring them down a little bit. So when we cook them down, that happens. Now caramelizing is bringing out natural flavors or natural sugars. One of the things we're going to do about caramelizing is we're going to add some sugar to this. So instead of adding a refined sugar, I'm going to add a little bit of honey, and that's going to help also. So we're using that honey twice, so it's not just that once. And that's going to help sweeten them up. At the same time, it's going to help them caramelize. And we're going to caramelize some of the honey in there. Again, textures and flavors and all this fun stuff. In that, some sun-dried tomatoes. Now this is what we're going to do. We're going to let that cook down. We're going to let that get nice and caramelized. When we come back, we're going to open up this sandwich. You're going to check that out. And then we're going to add chicken and gorgonzola to this. Oh, and there's one last thing for this sandwich that's very important, is right before serving it, I'm going to do a trick with the lemon. So don't go away. I'll tell you about the lemon, the ham and cheese, and the chicken gorgonzola sandwich. You can't go anywhere because this culinary adventure is taking us to a whole new place with sandwiches. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Are you caring for an older adult? Many services are available through the Sullivan County Service Link program, which provides information support and referrals for adults age 60 and older. Service Link also offers advocacy, connections to services, follow-up services, education, and support. Contact Service Link if you are searching for assistance in finding help for family members, getting services in order to stay at home, understanding Medicare and supplemental insurance benefits, receiving assistance in caring for elderly parents, finding alternatives for a nursing home, dealing with depression, isolation, and inability to cope. You can also learn about housing, food programs, medication assistance, and transportation.
They said drugs would make you cool.
Don't go in my room.
I just asked you
no, Mom, shut up, Mom.
Tell me to shut
Leave
up.
me alone.
Get back here. Mijo.
Just say it to my face, dude. What? Just say it, dude. What? Dude.
What's wrong with you?
Man, forget you guys.
Hey, wake up, sleepyhead. Pay attention in my class.
They said drugs would make you cool. They lied. Find out the truth about drugs. drugfreeworld.org.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So just to recap, we did roast beef, we did mozzarella, we're doing a ham and cheese right on here, ham brie, honey, arugula, some great flavors. And I'm actually finishing up my chicken one. Here we have sun-dried tomatoes, caramelized red onions, and I'm going to add my chicken to that. This is just some roasted chicken. You can use leftover chicken. You grill the whole chicken off, you want to throw that in there. Great way to do that. So we're just going to get all those flavors and warm up the chicken in the pan. Hey, if you really needed to and you had all this, let's say you had made this caramelized onion already and you had the chicken, just put it in the microwave with a little bit of cheese on top. Actually works wonderful if you want to use that. Here, this is totally up to you at this point. You put the cheese you want on it. I love gorgonzola. If you like blue cheese, you're going to love this mix. Then we turn it off and we kind of let it just settle by itself. What we want to do here, now, let's make sure our breads are getting nice and toasted. There we go. Let's take this off for a second because remember I told you about the ham and cheese, right? What we're going to do, we're actually going to add a little bit of lemon to it. Right around the grill, not necessarily on the ham, but let it kind of evaporate from the pan and we'll just shake it from side to side. Get it on the other side. That's citrus flavor to go along with the sweetness and the honey and the ham and especially the brie cheese. That citrus flavor will really open this whole thing up. It's absolutely wonderful. You're going to love those flavors. All right, so let's take a look at that one. Let's move that over. Check this one out. So really, how much time this take us? Not that much at all. Even if you had cooked these off ahead of time, put all of these on a sheet pan when people were coming over. You could have all these different varieties. Pop them in last minute, right before they get there, and then you've added to your display. Try and make sure we have something for everybody, right, guys? That's the whole thing. You want to have something for all these different tastes. So then finally, what we're going to do is going to put our chicken one together. Garlic mayonnaise on top first. And our chicken. Look at all those great flavors, huh? Chicken, caramelized onions. Chicken nice and tender. Again, it could be anything. It could be something that you had last night. It could be dark meat, white meat, whatever you like. Why waste it? This actually goes great in a wrap too. All these great flavors. Shut that off. And we'll get some greens on there. On the other side. Now the greens, usually I like to always dress the greens. Always give them some type of flavor or seasoning. Here, they're going to kind of wilt down underneath the chicken. Yeah, try and turn that over without falling, right? All right. And we'll cut into that. Really, really simple. That's it. We're here on our first season, or our first show of season 5. I keep doing this. We're here at Monadnock Flooring, doing these incredible shows, making this incredible food, so you could do it at home. It's super easy, super simple. Not only that, it's a lot of fun. So, you know what? It's over. I'm done. I'm going to eat. I need to really enjoy this because you're going to love it when you do it. So have a great time. Enjoy cooking for your friends and your family. And I'll see you next time on A Culinary Journey. Bye now.